Hello, welcome to the questions 4 to 6 on the America paper. Welcome to students, and I know quite a lot of mums and dads tune into this, so hello mums and dads. We thank you for your support. Question 4 is a 4-mark question, and it asks you to describe 2 problems faced by, and it will give you a kind of a group. It could be African Americans, women, farmers, and the chances are it will give you a decade in which they faced those problems as well. All I need you to do is focus on that group, make sure that you're not just being generic, but you're focusing on that particular group, be specific, and give me 2 pretty skinny P paragraphs because it's only 4 marks. So, for example, if the question was describe 2 problems faced by farmers in the 1920s, then you need to talk about there being an overproduction of crops. That led to price drops, which meant that 3 million farming families earned less than $1,000 a year, and they faced eviction from their farms. That would give you 1 of your skinny paragraphs. That's all you need to do. But notice I was specific with the 3 million under $1,000, and I explained why there was a problem because of overproduction and what happened as a result. Okay, that's what I want you to do. Nice and easy, this one. This is a real banker for marks. Question 5. We've talked about this so many times in class, guys. In what ways was X affected by Y? So it could be, in what ways were the lives of women affected in the 1920s? It could be, in what ways were the lives of Americans affected by the New Deal? It's an 8-mark question, so it's juicier in terms of our paragraphs than the last one. I do need you to write more in this. Now, here's the thing. How are we going to structure this one? You're wanting to know the ways in which lives were affected, but you have to talk about the extent. So if there's a really positive way that lives were affected, what was the negative? If there was a negative way, what was the positive? So remember the structure for this one. P, however. P, however. So 2 P's, and remember the howevers. If in that you can get me an economic and a social, all the better, because that's quite a theme in this America paper. It's a lot of it is about the haves and the have-nots, hence the howevers, and also the difference socially and economically in the lives of the way that people were affected in America at this time. So let's take, I don't know, how Americans were affected by the boom in the 1920s. You can talk about how so many of them had more employment, that 7% of the of Americans were employed by the car industry, and that wages doubled. However, there were virtually no women working in the car industry, and the Supreme Court overturned a ruling that gave them a living wage. So what you've done is you've said, yeah, lots of people did really well, specifically, but also you've talked about a group that didn't do as well, hence the course being called Opportunity and Inequality. All right, so remember that that's how we do that one. Okay, we've got questions 4 and 5 done. Question 6. This is the last of the questions on the America paper, and it's a 12 marker, so it's a bit more, I'm going to use my word juicy than the other questions that you've had so far. It may be that you want to start with this one because it is juicier. Which was more important, A or B? Sometimes that might be which was more important for the success of the New Deal, social or economic, but probably more likely it would be, let's say, what was more important for progress in civil rights, legislation or direct action, something like that. And what it's doing is it's asking you to make comparisons between the 2 if you possibly can. So I need 1 juicy paragraph about A, another juicy paragraph about B. So we've got lots of specific information about each of them, and you've got to give within that some sort of explanation, some sort of interim judgment about why that was important. And then overall judgment, which was more important. And this is where swirl comes in. Swirl, see, look, I did that deliberately standing there. remember with swirl, you're looking at, well, was it something was more important because maybe it had more longevity, it lasted longer than B than A, or maybe A was more widespread, it affected more people in America than A did, or it could be that one of them had a greater impact on their lives, it was much more positive for their lives. So remember swirl is your friend when it comes to significance, okay? And that's what another word for important is, significant. If you possibly can, please, this is where you get the highest marks, this is what's going to get you your 12 out of 12, is if you can link the factors. So let's say I mentioned the which was more important for civil rights legislation or direct action. Possibly you have to say, well, legislation started the situation that was then taken on with direct action. So one caused the other. It could be that what was more important, economic or social changes in the boom. Well, it was the economic changes that went on to create the social changes. So wherever possible, if you can make those links, it's something we've talked about so much in your GCSE history. Those links are what's going to give you those final marks. It's going to take you up those levels. Good luck with your America paper. Come back and see me about First World War, Power and the People, and Edward. There's loads more to go. See you soon. Bye.
Awesome.